Okay. Thank you. Oh, I
Okay.
love your glass. That's so
It was
cute.
hand painted by one of my mom's friends, actually. Yeah, she's an artist. Shout out to
Dude.
Betty. What?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Betty. I want
She
Betty
has
to
a
make
whole
me
set, like in different colors.
I would
Mad
love
cute.
one. That
I
is
can
super
make it for
cute.
you. I'm pretty sure I can make them.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
Yo, you know what we need to do?
What do we need to do?
When you for this fucking like what is it? For this great fucking like day that you come and I make you do everything and anything.
Whenever that is. Whenever that is.
I literally am taking you to a sip and paint thing.
Yes, bro, I have been dying to do one of those things because they also have some in Miami, but I was too broke.
No, literally. I mean, honestly, we could even do sip and paint at home, but I think it would be interesting. I've never done one, so I think it would be interesting.
I've never done one either. Like, yeah, I love to paint and I love to drink. So ya tú sabes.
Your two greatest love.
I'm Sophie.
Yes.
And this is
Podclass
with Sophie
and Cass.
Yeah, so today we're doing another episode for Tomando y Hablando, and I just want to say that Cass convinced me to have some wine because I just wanted to have some water. It's been a long weekend. It's been a very, very long weekend.
What have you been up to? That's cheese for off the podcast. All right, guys.
What's that called? That's for Patreon. You know how like people subscribe to Patreon? If you guys want the full tive, then we'll make one. But anyways,
shut up.
Today's episode, I was thinking about it earlier because the topic we're discussing, I feel like we've never had this conversation. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure our perspectives are going to be very different. So we're gonna talk about is chivalry dead? Okay. Oh, shout out to Hector because he's the one who recommended, like, he gave us the idea for the episode. But I want to ask you, Cass, what is your definition of a chivalrous man?
So chivalry, what comes to mind is really just like that saying that chivalry is dead. Like that's one thing that comes up, and then two, it's like, oh, like it's supposed to be someone who like really like courts you, so opens the door and like, you know, comes to your doorstep to get you, like, you know, I guess like the whole nines in that regard. Like it's supposed to be a man, like how I think it's like, oh, a man that courts you, like very old-fashioned kind of like thinking. That's what I think, or that's my idea of what chivalry is like now, like of what I know. That is.
So, okay, with that definition that you just gave, would you say that you, I don't want to say require, but like that you expect those things from a guy, or you don't mind if a guy isn't your definition of chivalrous?
So I guess I would say that like it's weird. It's really weird because I don't expect, like, okay, I guess it's like I don't expect you to be any kind of way, but I guess that when you aren't, I think of you in you know what I mean? Like
you do that. You technically like subconsciously do.
Yeah, I do. But then I like, it begs the question, like, okay, but where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like, why do I think that?
I have a theory.
That is okay. What's your theory?
I have a theory, and I don't know if you're gonna agree. I really think that your first dating experiences dictate your definition of like what a guy should be doing and shouldn't be doing. For instance, I dated an asshole, but he was a chivalrous asshole. So, you know, he would always like open the car door for me, pick me up, take me to dinner, ever since I was like in high school. So I kind of grew up like expecting for a guy to hold the door for me, to take me out to dinner. And when I say take me out to dinner, I don't even mean like pay for my dinner, but like the effort of like picking me up and making a reservation. That's what I'm talking about, you know? And some people say that this is like sexist because it's like, oh, equality, yada, yada, yada. I don't give a fuck, because you want to know something? At the end of the day, I 100% believe in equality, but I do believe that there are certain things that are expected from each gender, and you're free to not expect them, you know, but those are just, for me, like, it speaks volumes of a guy if he like does certain things, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if he doesn't, it also speaks volumes.
Okay. So with that being said though, do you feel like you okay, do you feel okay, like you said, he was a chivalrous asshole, all right? So is chivalry just a form of etiquette, not, it doesn't have to do with the respect that person has for you? You know, it's just like a way of acting, but like, does that have anything to do with how they actually treat you as a person, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like now at this age that I'm at, like where I'm at right now, it definitely has to do with how you treat me. Like if you hold the door for me, but like I catch you trying to grab someone's ass 5 minutes later, that's a problem.
Like literally 5 minutes.
That's a fucking problem. But if like back then, I'm not gonna lie, it was very confusing because it's like this guy's like such a gentleman, but then like he's such a liar. So it's just like, yo, what is going on here? But right now, like, okay, I had a little dispute the other day, and the other day, it was yesterday actually, with my cousin and her friends, because I really do believe that with chivalry, there's a very large sense of culture. Like in some places, some things are considered chivalrous, and in other places, it's just like nobody does that, right? So I met this guy on Friday, and honestly, I was like, first of all, like, you need to take me out on a formal date, and I like flowers. Bro, tell me how all these girls like threw themselves at me like, oh, but he doesn't even know you. Why does he need to do this for you? And this and that. And I was like, first of all, that is my requirement. Like, those are my standards. If I want to have standards, like, I can have the standards that I want. Like, you know what I mean? What the fuck? If the guy doesn't meet the standards, I'm really not going to die. Like, I'm going to be okay. You know what I mean? But it's going to bother me if I settle for less. So why would I settle for less? Right? So turns out that the guy was a liar to begin with. And I ended up meeting some other guy that turns out to be a little bit more chivalrous. So I told my cousin, I'm like, do you see what I'm talking about? Like, you just have to manifest, and not only manifest, but really set your boundaries and not settle for less just because you're afraid that if you don't, you're going to stay alone. Yeah. You know, I think that's part of the issue. And I get it. Like, okay, because I know maybe people are going to be like, that's so sexist. Like, why does he have to take you on a date and buy you flowers? Bro, again, those are my standards. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like guys, not all the guys, but some guys, most guys, when they take you out on a date, they expect for you to look put together, you know, have your nails done and your makeup and your hair. Etiquette, otro. Bro, the minimum you could do is take me out to dinner, man. Like, come on. I spent 2 hours doing this shit. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I think it's like, okay, so what do guys expect of girls? Is there a chivalrous woman? Like, you know, like how does that work?
I feel like there is. I actually feel like there is. It depends on the guy. I think it depends on the person. Like, you know, some guys like to be taken care of in certain ways, and other guys like to be taken care of in different ways. But like, for example, me, I'm the kind of person that like, if we're dating and you're staying with me, I'm going to probably wake up earlier and like make us breakfast. Or if you need me to do your laundry, I'll do your laundry. Like, that's fine for me. I do consider that to be a little chivalrous in the sense of like, I'm taking care of you in that sense, the same way that I expect for you to take care of me, maybe in the more like protective aspect of it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I do have to say it because when you were talking, I thought about it. It's like, okay, I do like, and this is just like maybe like this one thing, and I don't know if this is chivalrous or people are just watching out for my safety, but I like when like, let's say if you're walking with a guy or whatever, and you're walking like maybe on the like on the street side, and they'll like move you, so they're on the. That's my shit, yo.
Yo, tell me how. I was talking to my friend the other day, and she's like, bro, this guy that I'm seeing didn't even know that was a thing. I'm like, where does this guy live? Under a rock? And this was in Miami. It wasn't in Spain.
Yeah. But I actually have never like heard of it. Like, I just remember this happened to me once, and I was like, what happened? Like, I was like, wait, I was confused. But then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then like when it happens, I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know, protect me or whatever. If you're worried about my safety,
but that's the thing. Do you see how like it's such a small thing? Like you talk about it and it sounds so insignificant. Like you just switched like the sides of you were walking on.
Yeah.
Positions. But that's the whole point. Like for me, that's what makes a guy chivalrous, and like the little things like holding the door for me and like allowing me to walk in first. I think that that's such a like big thing. I don't know why. And I think it's because honestly, most guys don't do it anymore. So when a guy does do it, you're like, wow, you know, okay, you know, you're holding the door for me and shit.
Yeah. I was actually listening to this, like, I don't think it was a podcast. I think it was just like a talk, like this group of people. And they were mentioning how like, and this I feel like took it a step further than like what we're just talking about. It's like, oh, when you pick her up on a date, like, do you just text here or do you ring her doorbell? And then like there was guys that are like, nah, like you're getting that 4-letter word, like I'm here, like I'm already like paying for gas and I'm driving and yada yada. And then like there was other people that were like, I wouldn't want my daughter to date you, like, you know, you have to like come up and like get her. So I don't know though, that because that's like, I think that now that's where like, you know, our like generation is changing in the aspect of like, yeah, I'll come down, like he's here, you know, like I don't think about it that way, but so I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, like for me, like that, for example, it comes with like progress of technology. Like I feel like before, the reason why people would walk up to your door and ring on the bells because they couldn't fucking text you that they were there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now, like for me, like now I live in a house, right? But if I were living in an apartment building, like when I was living in an apartment building, why would you like ring on the door, like have the security guard call me, and that whole mission where you could literally just be like, I'm here and I'll come downstairs, you know? Yeah. So I think it depends. The same thing, like I find chivalrous when a guy like, okay, we go on a date or like we go out or whatever, and like you text me after, like, oh, are you home or are you okay? Or like the next morning, like, did you sleep well? I think that that's also chivalrous. And that's like a modern way of being chivalrous because it's just texting.
Yeah. That's true. It's like, it is a change of a generation. I just never thought about it like in that. I was like, is that a thing? Like, I didn't know that was like a problem. Like, or
like nobody has ever rang my doorbell.
I don't know what that once, I think for like junior prom, like
I'm just used to the OMW and then the here text. Those two texts are the ones that I'm used to.
That shit gets that's my shit. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Okay, for example, here in Spain, right? I hate dating here. I hate it so much, man. I hate it. People are so annoying. Bro, how is it that like on a first date, you're going to tell me, oh, let's meet up at the park? Espérate. Like, what do you mean, bro? You know what I mean? Like, you can't even pick me up. You can't even pick me up. But then that's the issue, bro. A lot of these guys don't even have a car. So you're just like, fuck. Like, it's so different here that then when you do meet someone that you're like, wow, you know, he is going to take me out to dinner, or bro, not even dinner, like whatever, for a walk. But like, again, going back to the small things of like picking me up at my door, you know, like,
you know,
organizing a plan.
But dinner is normal. Like, I think, but maybe because of like, you know, living in America, and that's just like what we're used to seeing in movies, and that's what our society does though. Like first dates are usually out to eat. Like
going to
Always.
dinner. Dude, that's my
Movies,
thing. I literally had an
whatever.
argument with these girls because they were saying like, what if he can't afford to take you out to dinner? And what if this?
Well
and what if
then,
that?
no, I'm
And I'm
just
like,
kidding. I
why
was
would
about
I
to
want to
say
be with
something.
someone? No, hey, espérate. Why would I want to be with someone that can't even pay for a fucking plate? Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Wait, I
You
was
know what I
just
mean?
literally about to say, well, then he can afford me. Oh
I'm not gonna
man,
lie. I'm a
guys.
little high maintenance. You know what I mean? The high maintenance, I do it myself. But
I'm high maintenance with
I don't
myself.
know.
Okay, so it's like I'm high maintenance with myself. I'm gonna be high maintenance about my man. It's just
Exactly. That's how I see. I'm like, how is it
like,
that I
sorry.
am so demanding with myself? I work out, I take care of myself, I study, I work, I do this, I do that. And you think I'm gonna be with a bum? Espérate, what's going on here?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
You're
refuse to, and it just infuriates me when like a lot of women, unfortunately, they're like, oh, but you're not gonna find that, so like you can't ask for that because you're not gonna find that. I have found so many girls tell me that, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I don't care if I don't find it. Like, I really don't
like,
care.
if you don't find it, that's
like,
fine. Yeah,
that's fine.
why am
It's
I
the
gonna?
same thing
Yeah,
now, like I feel like I've gotten to a point where like I'll meet someone, and I feel like this is such a bad thing too, bro. But I've gotten to a point, I meet someone, I like them, and I'm like, I don't even get my hopes up. I don't even, nah. I'm just like, well, here we go again. Like, let's see where this one takes us, because it's always some kind of bullshit along the way. So with that being said, every time that I find myself in a situation where like, I'm like, oh, for instance, he's not texting me, or he's not replying, or he's not doing this, he's not doing that. Instead of me like getting upset, I'm like, this is why I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with someone that's unavailable like that. I don't want to be with someone that doesn't communicate. I've been able to like switch it to the point where I'm like, I know what I want, and I'm not going to force you to be that. If you are not that, then you're not for me.
Yeah, like there's no point in getting mad if the person's not how you expect them to be. Like, there's so many people out here. Like, don't get mad. Just like move on.
Girl,
Like,
so many people. Like, sometimes too many people. It's overwhelming
too many
sometimes.
at once. I can't do this.
Let me tell you, bro, it was a long weekend.
Hace un chin de calor aquí.
Yo, I'm fucking hot too, and I have the AC on. I don't know what's going on. It's the wine.
No.
So I'm so hungover, and like, okay, alcohol makes you sweat. That's a fact. And I feel like I'm hot because I drank, and now I'm drinking again.
I'm drinking,
and there's
my drink of choice today is Perrier. I feel like
bitch, where's your wine?
It's right here.
I was about to say, I'm like, you're making me drink and you're drinking fucking Perrier.
You poured yourself like this much.
Because I don't have any more?
Hiding that shit behind those flowers.
I don't fucking have more wine, bro. Okay, so here in Spain, you guys, wine is cheap, right? Cass and I, we used to buy these wines for like €1. Okay, so tell me how the other day I go to a supermarket and I try to be bougie and fancy, and I got these 2 wines for €3 instead of 1. That shit smelled like rotten egg. I'm not kidding. My cousin and I put it in the glass, and I was like, what's good with this wine? It was so fucking nasty that I don't even know what we did. Did it taste good or it
just smelled?
I don't know. We drank it. We drank it, but I don't think it was good, to be honest. Like, but we still drank it.
I don't know what we did with it. Down the hatch shit.
Oh my goodness. But
so anyways, speaking of chivalry, I actually looked up what chivalry was because I'm like, what is this?
Isn't it something, it has to do with the medieval times or some shit?
Yeah, that shit. Yeah. So apparently, hold on.
I had done a class on chivalry. Like, I had actually asked a group of my students, like adult students, what they thought on it. Yeah. And honestly, the guys were just saying, like, you want to know something? Every time that I've tried to do something chivalrous for a woman, it's bit me in the ass. Like, this one guy was like, I tried holding the door for some girl, and she was like, I can hold the door myself. So he was like, I don't want to do it anymore. Because
oh, okay. Because then there is that, like, you know, I could do it.
I'm independent. Like, I don't need you. Yeah, whatever.
fine. That's fine. But I also think that like, you know, it's funny, right? Because your friends, like they were, or you know, cousins' friends, the way they said that, like, oh, you know, how can you expect that? Blah blah blah, telling him that or whatever the case. Okay, you essentially are communicating, and that is where problems arise. Lack of communication. You know, if I'm not letting you know what it is that I expect from you, and I actually had this conversation with the guys yesterday because I told them that we were filming today about chivalry. And it's like, no, like at the end of the day, I can't get mad at you for not doing something if you don't even
If
have
I
an
don't
idea
tell
that,
you,
yeah, that of what I
that
want.
is what I told
I'm just
them.
communicating that. And
that is what I told them.
It's mature. It's a mature thing to do. Yeah, like I'm sitting here and I'm letting you know, like, hey, you know, these are just the standards that I uphold for myself. Can you meet that? You can? Okay, cool. Then, like, you know, because people think like, oh no, it's like you have to be coy and stuff. And I think that's a more old-fashioned way of thinking. Nowadays, we let it, you know, we let you know what it is.
That's my thing. I had an issue. Bueno, I'm not gonna speak in the past because that shit is still going on. Yeah. But there's this one guy that I was very clear about, like, this is what I want and this is what I demand. Okay. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm telling you right now, I'm not okay with this shit. And this is what I want, right? He fucked up. So now
as they all, okay,
that he sees me doing my own thing, you know, kind of like, I'm over it. I already expressed to you that I was done, you know? And now he's like, no, but I'll do it now. And it's like, you knew this whole time what I wanted because I communicated that with you. And bro, I have such a feeling of like, I don't know how to explain it. I have a feeling within myself of like kind of like pride, in the sense of like, I feel proud of myself for telling him from the beginning. Like, not because, you know, sometimes I feel like we hold ourselves back because we're afraid that they're gonna like not do it. So that's why we don't ask for it. I think that's the main reason why we don't ask for shit sometimes. But I've come to a point where I'm like, no, I'm gonna ask for it from the beginning, because why even be with someone if, like, you know, like if you're just not that person to do those types of things.
Yeah.
So now it kind of bothers me that it's like, so you knew from the beginning what I wanted, but now you're deciding to step up to the plate because you saw, oh shit, she's moving on.
Yeah.
So,
but it's also like, so then you don't, you know what I mean? It's like, no, like for you, like you need a threat. And I'm not gonna live my life playing games with you. You know what I mean? Like
literally, that's playing games. Like, so you need to feel like you're gonna lose me so that you feel like you, oh shit, you know, let me get my shit together. Like,
no, thank you, papito.
Bro, you know what song? You know, this is like where I'm at. This morning, I went to breakfast with my cousin. And I was in the car and I started playing Irreplaceable by Beyonce. I was there like, first of all, like, nobody try me because all of y'all are irreplaceable. You know what I mean? I mean, not irreplaceable, replaceable. But that's my whole thing. Like the audacity. That's my thing. Like, this guy really admitted to me, like, oh, honestly, I just didn't think that you would really move on. Espérate, like, I told you that that's what was gonna happen. Like, I literally told you. I shut the door and I opened the other door, and you really still thought that door, I don't know what is like.
I mean, that shit was locked.
Man.
It's so funny because, you know, coming from like me, like I'm like, I don't know, like I since I'm like in a relationship now, I don't have like the same, you know, like stories and stuff. It's very like,
thank God, yo,
mellow, yo. But like thinking of in the past, you know, like times where you're literally like, when you're really like, you know, I'm done, like, you know, and you're not even like a bitch about it. You're just like, hey, you know, it's cool. We're just done, like, it's cool. Oh my God, but like, I know, like, maybe we can try something. It's like,
give me another chance. Bro, I was talking with Rosa this morning, my friend, about this, because she was like, and this is so true for us women, yo, we have patience, man. we have patience. I have patience. I wait and I try to be understanding. I really do. I try to empathize. I try to listen. I try to communicate with you. But once that switch goes off, that I'm like, this is done, I literally do not want you to touch me. Like, that's it. Even bro, like physically, it's the weirdest thing. Like physically, I'll look at you and I'm like, I don't even feel attracted to you anymore. Like, I'm just fucking over it. And then they're like, oh, are you upset or are you mad? And you're like, I'm not mad. I'm just done. Like, which is way worse, you know, because if I were upset, it's because I care. If I'm just done, it's just like, this is fucking done and over with, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Honestly, like, you throw a rock and there's a whole bunch of people coming after you. So at the end of the day, if it's not one, es el otro. So like, straight the fuck up. How do you get over a man getting under a new one? I said what I said, people. I said what I said.
I am done. Let me sip on my fucking Perry. But no, listen. Speaking of like chivalry though, just going back to the theme. Oh god,
yeah, I'm fucking sweating.
Okay, but no, speaking of like chivalry, I think that like something that our parents would probably say is just like, okay, I really believe that like what you consume in your media and all that stuff is very, you know, it really like affects you in like subconscious ways. So, you know, even though I love me some Bad Bunny and all these guys, right? Like some of the shit that they be saying is straight up disrespectful, straight up. And
some
then like
of it,
my mom was
or
like,
all of it.
All of it. My mom was like, yeah, they be saying, y te comí la hermana, or whatever.
How about, y si tu novio no te mama el culo?
And then, y toda la tipa tan, ay. And I'm like, oh my God.
That money.
But I was like, you know, it's true. Like, I can't, like, she's right. And then I'm like, okay, like, what if our standards have gone down just because we're like listening to this shit and condoning it and just like, yeah, whatever.
So bro, you're right in the sense that like those songs, they make the woman's body look like it's just like a thing to look at and to touch and to have sex with, and like that's it. It's not something valuable, like whatever, like, oh, she has a fat ass and I fucked her from behind, yada yada yada, which half the time people who talk like that, whack. Anyways, so let me just say that really quick. But that's my whole thing. Like, first of all, there's nothing wrong with having sex on the first date. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that. You're free to do whatever the fuck you want. Okay. It's your body, your choice, whatever the fuck you want, as long as you're safe. You know what I mean? Take care of your body.
Use condoms. Use condoms.
You never know.
Put a fucking condom on. God.
Okay. You really never know. You really never know. But I will say, from my experience, okay, don't come at me. This is just my personal experience. I have noticed there's this thing, I forgot the name of it, like the term for it, but it was like after coming, like sense of reality. So basically, guys, okay, if a guy really
are you quoting Little Wayne?
No. I'm for real, bro. I read about this. Like, this is a thing. I read it in Spanish though. That's why I don't know the term in English.
But I think you are. Wait, I have to find.
Really? There's a song.
Like he says, when I come to my senses or some shit like that.
Okay, so bro, but that's an actual thing. That's an actual thing. So apparently, guys, fucking guys, like, if a guy likes you and he's attracted to you, right? But he's not sure about you, but he has never had sex with you and he just really wants to have sex with you, he's going to try. He's going to motherfucking try. And after he comes, some chemical shit happens in their brain where it's like they see you for who you are. And if they don't like you, they won't speak to you again. And for us women, because sex is so different, like chemically, biologically, and everything, that's why a lot of the times we stay there confused, like, what the fuck did I do wrong? And whatever the fuck, you know? Which is why I always, for me, the way that I've come to honestly like get to know people, I leave the sex part for like, you know, there's no rush. Like I want to get to know you first, to see if I actually like you, to see if you're deserving of my body, if you're worthy of me, if, you know, I don't want to be with a guy that's sleeping around, because again, even if you use protection, bro, sometimes like STDs and shit, you just never fucking know. And unfortunately, we're living in times where like people are nasty, y'all. Like people are nasty. Like
Yeah.
I've
But
seen some shit.
Yeah, but one thing I want to say though, it's like, okay, for example, I understand what you're saying, because I think that like it was like maybe like after some time I was just very like, I'm kind of like not wanting to just have sex. Like I feel like it's taking a lot out of me in regards to like my like how I felt about myself, you know what I mean? And I think that our body is really our temple, and that like if you just let anyone come into it in a way, again, personal, like we're saying, personal experiences, like I really like if my friend tells me like her little whole story, I'm like, get it, bitch, you know, like that's the like that's
Because
your life and that's
sometimes
how you
like,
want to live it,
and
that's
it
what you're
also
looking for
is
too.
exactly, like it really does
Yeah.
depend on like where you're at. Like maybe you're just like, no, I just want something casual, whatever the fuck, then whatever, you know, again, if you're being safe, then fuck it. But if you, I think we're talking more about like if you actually like a guy,
want to have yeah, like if you actually want to have something with someone, I feel like sometimes, yeah, it just like, I mean, again, things could change over time, you never know, because like you said, and you like you said, it also, he'll see you for who you are, and if he doesn't like you, then he's never going to talk to you. Okay, so like maybe he'll see you for who you are and like you, like that's also the possibility. It's just like,
and if he
also for
doesn't,
me,
why
yeah.
even like, why even get to that point, you know?
But yeah, don't, yeah, like if you really want someone, don't open up yourself to that kind of hurt so soon. Like really get to know like really get to know the person, because yes, if the guy is actually invested in getting to know you, he is gonna take the time to know you. He's not gonna just like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just, you know, fuck around for a few months and then have sex and then I'm out, you know.
And
But
also I want to say like a lot of the, no, most of the times, if not every time, like when you meet someone, for instance, you meet someone and like you guys are fine and like you just stop talking, like the person stops talking to you, like don't question yourself, because 9 out of 10 times probably that person's going through something, maybe a recent breakup, they're just, you know, I don't know, transitioning jobs, whatever the case is, you're just emotionally, like I found myself brushing people off because I've been emotionally unavailable. And they ask me like, oh, did I do something wrong? And I'm like, no, like it really isn't you. It's just, I'm just not there right now, you know? So I think that that's really important too. Like if you meet someone and it just doesn't work out, like don't automatically put the blame on yourself. Like, oh, it didn't work out because of me, but it just didn't fucking work out,
it's
you know?
you, baby girl. It's not you.
It's not you.
It's true. So let's close off. Also, you know, we love you guys. Thanks for the support.
Yes,
you know,
thank you for the support.
Thanks
so
for
far.
listening to our chisme. It's really cool, and I hope that you guys can get something out of these things.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, we enjoy doing this. Like, we enjoy filming for Podclass. And like, I feel like when we get positive feedback off of it, it's so rewarding because it's like, shit, this is something that I actually like to do. And like, when people enjoy it, it's like, wow, you know? So yeah. Thank you guys.
Shout out to our creative director, creative media specialist, and all that shit, Sophia.
Oh, I was like, who the fuck is that?
You're like, who the
You're like, who are you talking about?
Who? You're like, I be doing that shit. Who are you talking about?
Yo, imposter syndrome. I didn't even think they were talking about me. Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, you guys, we'll see you next time. Peace out.